we now see, courtesy of Matt Holliday, who kind of played for the New York Yankees in the 2017 American League Championship Series, some more sour grapes. Here's Matt Holliday on the Short Porch Podcast, which is a Barstool Sports podcast that talks about the New York Yankees.
So you had a long career spanning with the Rockies, Cardinals, Yankees. Why were the Yankees your favorite organization to play for and the best time you've ever had in your life?
It was a great year, the first half anyways. I really liked, the guys, living in New York City was cool for an Oklahoma kid. It was a good experience all in all. Who knows what would have happened if the Astros weren't, banging on trash cans and we'd have had a chance to win a championship.
Did you guys feel like something was up?
I remember thinking a couple guys talking about how they were on some of the breaking balls of our pitchers that were absolutely nasty. And some of the nastiest pitches that were getting thrown to the plate, it did feel like they knew what was coming. I am surprised that no one picked up on any sort of noises. It's definitely to your advantage to know when Severino's pitching and some of the nasty bullpen arms we had that year. If you know a fastball's coming, that's an ideal situation for him.
Okay, so let's pause for a moment. Why the fuck is Matt Holliday talking? You were 0 for 3 in the one game you played in the ALCS. In that entire playoff run, you didn't do shit. You weren't a part of that team. Who knows what happens if the Astros weren't banging trash cans? Well, I know it would have happened if the Yankees scored more runs in Game 6 and Game 7, where they scored one combined run. Shut the fuck up. You're talking about the Astros when they're at the plate. Fine. Maybe they had an advantage there. But how the hell was that Yankee lineup, supposedly a fantastic lineup, absolute ass in that entire series? Aaron Judge was terrible. Most of the Yankees' key hitters were not good. And you could say, oh, well, there was a home field advantage for New York. Look at the splits in New York. Whatever. There was a point in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series where Lance McCullers threw, 25, 26, 27 straight curveballs? Fuck sign stealing. Hit the goddamn pitch. And these guys act over and over again like they have been slighted. Oh, poor me. We're the New York Yankees. What a bunch of losers. That organization has fallen so much. When I was growing up in Boston, I remembered looking at the Yankees, being terrified of them whenever I saw the Red Sox play them. I used to assume that they would always win in the end. The Harlem Globetrotters to my Washington Generals. I always thought that things were going to go down in a way where it doesn't matter. The Yankees are supernatural. And they have since then become this whining, choking, and they choke in the playoffs a lot. There's a sample size now where you can't just point at 2017 as the year that they were going to win. What would have happened? They probably would have lost in 4 games to the Los Angeles Dodgers had they won that series. But they continuously point to this, and it is little man syndrome shit. Oh, well, if I was 6 feet tall, I'd be this, I'd be that. You weren't. You didn't. Can you get over it? It's embarrassing, and it's beneath you if you're the Yankees. You assume you get back the next year. You assume that this is not something that is going to be stuck in your mind forever where you need a therapist or something. But these guys, for the life of them, just can't get over it. And I think it's straight loserdom. Again, look at your numbers at the plate in that series. You can bitch and moan about the Astros at the plate all you want. One of the best lineups that we've seen in baseball over the last 5 years. Sign stealing or no, there's no arguing that. They have had a murderer's row for 5 years. Were they helped? I'm sure that they got some benefit from the sign stealing that they were doing. But you had to score runs. Your offense was a strength that season, and you did nothing at the plate. Boo fucking who, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. And especially from Yankees fans. You know what? I get it from the players to an extent. I've seen players who feel like they have been wronged. Say Marshall Faulk with the St. Louis Rams back in Super Bowl 36. Like, go to the ends of the earth saying that they were robbed. Because they're not going to remember the game the way that somebody like me who watches it, who would tell them that, well, maybe Kurt Warner shouldn't have sat back on his ass and thrown the ball straight up in the air, only to get picked off by Ty Law. Maybe Ricky Prohl shouldn't have fumbled in that game as well to set up the Patriots' second touchdown so they go into halftime with a 14-3 lead. Honestly, the Rams were lucky in that game that it wasn't 21-3 because Kurt Warner never saw Marshall Faulk on a play where Willie McGinnis was called for a hold and Bucky Jones returned a fumble 99 yards for a touchdown. It would have been 21-3. The game would have been over at that point. 24-3. The game would have been over at that point. Didn't happen. Rams score a touchdown the next play. It's like they forget what happens, but that's fine. They're players. I don't think that they're going to go back and watch the game that they lost or feel that they were cheated in every single time over and over again. But the fans who are watching, I mean, you should be able to see this stuff. You should be able to remember this stuff a lot better than them. It should be traumatized and seared into your brains that your team could not hit at all in those playoffs. That you could not hit 27 straight curveballs by Lance McCullers coming out of the bullpen in Game 7 of that ALCS. And you can't get over it. Get over it, please. Because every single time, I will come to the wall and I will stuff you in a fucking body bag. I'm tired of it. Go away. Shut up. Thank you.